Walking through the door to the Fuglsang Brewery is opening a portal to history. Because this is the story of a family that for 5 generations have worked on perfecting beer and malt to excellence. With customers all over the world, Fuglsang is a family-owned company with a proud tradition of fine craftsmanship dating back to 1865, when the brewery was first founded in Haderslev, Denmark. The Fuglsang family's Golden Brew quickly became the most popular beer in town, so a malting plant was soon established. Both companies still carry the family name, and over the years, the Fuglsang family has been strongly committed to quality beer and malt production. The tireless commitment of the family strengthened both family ties as well as the company itself, to a degree that even 2 world wars and a severe fire in the malting plant could not stop the business. And to this day, the Fuglsang family company managed by the original founder's great-great-grandchildren still guarantees only the highest quality. The cornerstone of all production at Fuglsang is a good Danish spring barley, of a kind grown specifically for producing malt. At Fuglsang we use only fine Danish barley, which is delivered almost daily from various cooperatives and farms. And trucks are not allowed to unload until each batch has been carefully analyzed at our own laboratory. And because it's vital that the barley we use is of the very finest quality, it is constantly and stringently analyzed prior to production. After approval, the barley proceeds to a screening out process and is sorted according to kernel size. Only entire sound grains proceed further. Everything else is rejected. Germinating barley and brewing beer requires water, a lot of clean water. And at Fuglsang we are self-sufficient with our own deep wells from which we extract and filter fresh water before use. The malting process starts in the steeping plant. This is where the barley is soaked in water to absorb water and oxygen. When the enzymes of the barley become active, it is transferred to germination boxes, where it stays for 5 to 6 days. The purpose of the germination process is to modify the starch and proteins of the barley. We have continuous laboratory assistance to check the uniformity and quality of every single grain, but just like in the old days, the best way of testing the progress is by feeling the grains. The green malt is then conveyed to the kiln. The final and decisive step in the malting process happens in the kiln. The water content in the grain is quickly reduced by means of air drying. Now the sprouted barley kernel has turned into malt, and the nutrients are ready for brewing the beer. Applying different temperatures during kilning creates the differences between light, colored and dark beer. When the malt has been kilned, it is storage-proof and can keep for a long time. We store the various types of malt in individual silos, ready for blending, depending on customer requirements. Malt in bags is typically for overseas customers. Our plant manufactures the bags on site and fills 50 kilo bags at a rate of 1,200 bags per hour. In addition, we also have the flexibility of filling 25 kilo bags if required. In the old days, bagging was done manually, but now this is automated and we can fill a large sea-bound cargo container in approximately 25 minutes. Dragsbæk Maltfabrik in Thisted is part of the Fuglsang Group. Here too we conduct a stringent quality control of incoming barley. The laboratory in Thisted has some central functions related to Fuglsang's malt production, for example the fully automated analysis of the nitrogen content of malt and wort. The Dragsbæk plant processes 370 tons of barley every day, all year round. This amount corresponds to a delivery of approximately 11 trucks daily, which are converted to 110,000 tons of malt per year. Fuglsang, protection of the environment is also a high priority. Both of our malting plants have their own combined heating power plants. Since 2009, we've cooperated with the local district heating plant where we buy CO2 neutral heat, which is converted from household waste and straw. The straw often comes from the same barley we process in malting. In this way, we use local raw materials and thereby contribute to the economy of the community-owned district heating. We also receive geothermal heat from deep below the local fjord. This heat pump allows us to capture the heat for drying the malt. Good handicraft and the feeling of the life of the seed are decisive factors in the production of high-quality malt. But we cannot do without controlling the steeps, germination boxes and kilns from the central control room. The malting in Thisted supplies many customers, including our German and Norwegian brewing colleagues, as well as other Danish breweries. We ship malt by coasters, for example to the Scottish whisky industry and other customers who have the facilities to take in whole shiploads. Sea containers are tilted vertically for loading with bulk malt. This process allows us to fill them in 20 minutes, thus making full use of their capacity. Containers are primarily shipped via Aarhus, Denmark and Hamburg, Germany to our overseas customers. Despite our enormous technological progress, our most vital resource by far is our employees who create the very special spirit we enjoy at Fuglsang. Next door to Fuglsang Malting we find Fuglsang Brewery, but the journey towards excellent beer is not yet complete. The ingredients of malted barley, hops, yeast and water are the same today as they were 150 years ago. During fermentation, the beer develops its contents of alcohol and carbon dioxide. Fermentation takes 8 to 9 days before it's transferred to secondary fermentation tanks for maturation. At Fuglsang, we bottle beer in kegs, bottles and cans. Our machinery fills up to 18,000 bottles or 20,000 cans per hour. Fuglsang is the beer of the people of southern Jutland. Recently, however, it has also begun penetrating the general beer market elsewhere in Denmark. Just like when Søren Christian Fuglsang started brewing, Fuglsang still has a great beer to be enjoyed. Much has changed over the last 150 years, but the Fuglsang family still uses natural raw materials and traditional craftsmanship to obtain the unique taste. This is what we did then, and this is what we do now. So, whether you want to satisfy your thirst together with friends or simply enjoy a tasty brew with your meal, Fuglsang has always that very special something to please your senses.